Hey guys, what's going on? Shop of the Lion here, and welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Um, this is Mufasa the Lion King update number 2, and unfortunately, we do have some disappointment to talk about. Well, first off, that trailer was never released at D23. In fact, if we go into the main part of our conversation, um, no trailer has been released at D23, and as far as that goes, no information about many upcoming projects. And the only one I was aware of is Wish, which apparently they showed the first minutes of at D23. But besides that, no information on new and upcoming projects. Now, is this a good thing, or could it be worrying? Well, here's the thing. There is a strike going on right now, which could explain why D23 was not very, I guess you could say, revealing in some of the new projects um, as part of this ongoing strike. As in fact, there were not many talents, I should say, like actors and stuff that made appearances there, if at all. And that is because probably of what's going on right now with the strikes in Hollywood. Now, is this a good thing? Obviously not. This could impact the film, these strikes. I don't believe they will for a few reasons I'm not going to get into, but I don't believe they will. I do believe that most of the film has been at least. I believe that they do have a trailer, let's just say that. So that means that most of this film has been completed, if anything. And I believe they are holding the trailer right now. And I believe that this could be a good thing for us. That means that they might. Usually, when they hold trailers like this, obviously, they only do it about 9 months maybe before the movie releases. They'll release the first trailer. So I was not expecting. I was thinking it could be a D23 because of the fact that it's the 100th anniversary. But then I didn't keep taking into account the strikes and everything that's going on right now. I do believe though that our first trailer release will be late October, November. More likely November, late November probably, before Wish premieres. So their next film. Usually they'll release a big trailer to coincide with their next film. There could be something with some other event too, but I do believe that's more likely to premiere with Wish. It would make sense. Um, Basically, just a quick fix I had to my predictions about Zero. It could be more unlikely, I will admit now, especially if any other characters with Lion King 2. However, I could see a way they could do it. And the reason I say it's unlikely is because if you guys remember The Lion King 2019, Scar is talking about trying to woo, I guess, Sarabi when he had his reign of terror. Which, by the way, is an incredible scene. I'll do reviews eventually of all the Lion King media, and I'll probably even rank Disney films at some point. But anyway, like I was saying, so basically, Zero could be unlikely. I could still see it though. I could still see a way them to work her in there. But more pressing news, the two biggest pieces of news I have for this update, and the first one, which is probably the biggest regarding the Mufasa the Lion King, is right here, and that is the information tease that I would actually argue is an information tease in the Lion King novelization, which is a book basically that they released in 2019 to coincide with the film. Just basically the same as the film, well, maybe a little different some of the text, but in book form instead of obviously a film. But as you can see in the epilogue, and this is what is really interesting, it talks about how, what we see at the end of basically, everything going back to normal. But if you notice this line down here at the bottom, turning, Simba walked back to his den. A smile broke over his face as he saw his young son playing with Timon and Pumbaa. Son, not daughter, son. What does that mean? Who knows? What that means is, I would assume, and actually I'm going to change this to a 30%. I would assume that, actually let me change this higher than that. I'm going to assume that that means that Copa, honestly, is what I assume with that, and that's what I bet everyone who reads that line assumes. However, it could also be a new character we don't even know about, and that's why I put 80%. Kion, the only problem with Kion I could see is that he is a secondborn, and he doesn't mention about 2 cubs here. So unless they're making him a firstborn, which would be really, really odd, I would give him a 50% chance. But these are what my predictions are for the new mentioned cub of Simba, who has been mentioned, obviously, if you saw my last video, in the new Lion King, as at least one of Simba's cubs is going to appear. Now, who is it going to be? I don't know. Kiara, I'm still leaving at 70%, because honestly, even though it mentions young son in this, and even though this book was warranted by Disney and published by Disney, so this is technically, should be kind of fairly canon, although Copa's also been put in books and it's not really canon. But anyway, like I was saying, Kiara could still definitely, I mean, they could just ignore this and then put, Kiara as the cub. Who knows? But since this is a new universe, and there might not be events, obviously there aren't events yet from The Lion King 2, they have a lot to mess around with, and I could easily see them putting in a new storyline, and I could easily see them putting in Copa. So hopefully, I hope my prediction's correct about that, but we will see, because it could honestly also be a new character entirely. Now, the next thing we have to talk about is this most people actually have not looked at, and that's because it's one that kind of went under the radar, I guess, because it's definitely like a more preschool, like Disney Junior type short, like usual. However, sometimes you got to analyze these things to kind of see where the studio's minds are at, I guess you could say sometimes. And there's a couple things about this short that I noticed. And one, it's a song about the circle of life. And it's a great thing because it's a new thing about the Lion Guard, which is weird because this released this year in August, as you can see right here on Disney Junior's channel. But the weird thing about that is, we haven't gotten anything Lion Guard after the season ended, pretty much. So why are they posting new stuff is a very interesting thing. Very interesting. It means it's probably still popular, which it is. But the biggest things I see here are timelines. So, or mainly, actually, I should say, right here. This is the main thing we see right here. Now, obviously, we see Kion, who is older, and it's even further emphasizes Kion when in the video, he turns his body and you can see the patch. So this is definitely in 100% Kion. But what's really interesting is these cubs right here, who are definitely younger. Now, who are these cubs? I have a million theories. A lot of people have theories as well. Some people have said they're Kiara's cubs. Some people have said, I don't know. There's just been a lot of theories. The only problem with that is obviously Kion doesn't have a scar, but that could have been ignored. I don't know. The really weird or interesting thing is you see the lions. At the end of the video, you'll see the lions appear in the sky roaring as they all roar. And here's the thing about this. There's a lioness and 2 lions. One of these is going to be Mufasa, 100%. But the other ones, who knows? Could it be Simba and Nala? I really hope not, because that would mean they would be dead. Could it be Ascari and Jana? I have no idea. Again, up to interpretation. But this short has a lot more going on than people might think. Also, another thing is, look at the designs for the cubs. What is really, really, really weird about these designs, I'm not going to lie, is they have strong resemblances to Lion King characters. This one's a little bit tough because this one here, or Lion King characters that we know about. This one here, like I said, the lioness is tough. It's kind of not really resemblant to many, but you could argue it looks kind of like Kiara, but obviously not. But kind of like Kiara, but also kind of like Tfue. Who knows? Honestly, the eye color is what on the other two, in their actual designs on the other two, is what really intrigues me. For one, this one right here looks a lot like Kovu and has green eyes as well, which is very interesting. Um, Now, could that be a hint for future things to come? Who knows? The biggest hint, I think, and it's such a coincidence, and this is why it's weird of a coincidence. Blue eyes, darker yellow, or just, that nice golden fur, but look at the tail color. It's brown, which means that the mane color will be brown. So, of this cub, that his mane will be brown later in life. So who is this? This looks a lot like Copa. It just looks very ridiculously similar to Copa, and it's just really weird how, again, it could be nothing, but how these choices of like eye colors and like matching, like, you gotta remember the people who are working on the short must have known about something here. There's no way that this is this much of a coincidence. So what I would say is, again, who knows if this is actually a tease or not, but we'll see. That could tease about future stuff. That could tease about. I mean, who knows? The great thing about this is that I think what this means is that, since I did produce this again, we can't look too much into this. It's just like a random little song short meant for toddlers, really. But what I want to talk about is we have a lot of uh, we had those hints of the franchise being big, getting into a universe possibly. And here's my theory: the only reason uh, that Disney would probably ever say that, the execs, they would never say that unless they had stuff already uh, being developed. So what I think is, honestly, there's a lot more the Lion King franchise stuff being developed right now than what we currently know. I do think that. I do think that if when they release Mufasa, if it's a huge success, we are going to get a bunch of announcements. That is what I believe to happen, and I really hope does. I really hope Mufasa is a great film. I hope it fixes some of the issues that were, and there were issues from the 2019 film. I do think it will be better because it's an original story. I do want so badly. I would love to have continuation of the Lion Guard, only because there's a lot of unsolved lore in that show, and I'll go over that maybe in a video at some point. There's a lot of videos I gotta make, but there's so much unsolved lore. But the main thing is, I really hope Mufasa does well, and I really hope that we get more stuff, including future series from it. They said if they could only do it if they could find the stories. Well, let me tell you, there are a lot of stories they could work with in this franchise. So that's just being humble, in my opinion. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll have some more interesting videos coming out soon. And hopefully I'm wrong and they release this trailer very soon. I will definitely be doing a reaction to it whenever it releases. So stay tuned for that. And I guess I'll just see you guys later. All right. Thanks. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys. Have a nice week.